Okay, so in the previous discussion, we looked into some brief thing about Java, okay, and who is known as Dr. Java, by the way. This smiling man you see on the screen, his name is James Gosling, okay. He's known as Dr. Java, James Gosling. Okay, he and his crew developed Java, and we have looked at the, extensive history, right? So what is it that we are going to do today? I call this day 2 of 200. Oh, sorry, 22, please. So we're going to look into core plus advanced Java concepts. Fine. So since this class is aimed at MCA, or it's purely for MCA students, right, of VTU, but not only them actually, okay, or anybody who is interested in learning Java can also join. Hence, because of the demand, to do kind of a refresher course on what? Core Java. On Core Java. Okay, that was what actually led to this. Fine. So I don't want to keep you for so long. Let's just dive straight into what we have for today. Now, I just want to show you something here. So as you can see here, all right, you can see 22 days of Java programming. Yes, day one is over, and then we are in day two, and then we'll try to go, in the same order, okay, until we complete this. So let me try to see if I can do justice to this. Identifiers, Java class libraries, Java primitive types, literals, scope and lifestyle, I beg your pardon, lifetime, okay, of variables with examples, types of variables, and then we look into short circuit operator. This is very, very important, all right, and then assignment operator versus shorthand operator, okay, and some demo sessions, okay, and the need for casting. Very simple program we are going to write today, okay, very, very simple, okay. So as a matter of fact, I thought fine, I will just explain a couple of things before we proceed. All right. So before we get into the demo class, so let's look at this. So this is day 2 of 22 days of Java. Don't forget this, guys, of Java programming. Now, in case if you really need to know, okay, some basic history or to get up to speed, please feel free to see the first day of Java programming. It will be available in the playlist also. So before we proceed, I want to look into, I didn't plan that, but I thought you should understand JVM, okay? Very simple. I'm not going to give you tutorials on this, just very simple points I want to highlight. JVM stands for what? Java Virtual Machine. That's every what. If I ask students what is JVM, they tell Java Virtual Machine. So what is Java Virtual Machine then? Okay, so it is kind of a runtime environment. So okay, it provides this provides your what? Runtime environment. As a Java student, you should remember it's called JRE, Java Runtime Environment, that allows you to it provides your JRE, it enables you to execute your what? Execute your what? Java bytecode. Java what? Bytecode, not BITE, okay? Bytecode. So the question is, what is this bytecode? Can we see it? Yes, it is visible. It is called the dot class file, okay? It has the extension as dot class. So since you know that JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine, which provides you the JRE, the runtime environment that enables you to execute the bytecode, then this bytecode actually also gets interpreted, right? Okay, on different machines. Okay, so therefore making it what? Platform independent. Platform what? Independent. So if there's a independent, if there's a block diagram, it will look like this. One of the block diagram might look like this. So we have something which is your Java code. Say we have this is your Java source code. So .java code. So this is usually your source code. Now this Java source code will be kind of compiled, right? So you have your Java compiler. So we have this guy here. So Java compiler, I have actually shown you this, right, in our first lesson itself. So you have your Java compiler, which is your Java C, Java compiler. Now this Java compiler does what now? Generates the bytecode, right? So after compilation, bytecode is generated, right? So this now generates your bytecode. So your bytecode might look like something like this. It's a bytecode, so it should not be meaningful. So this bytecode should not bite you, okay? So it's your .class file. Okay. Now this .class file now gets interpreted in your JVM. So we have something like this. So this passes down to your JVM. So inside your JVM, okay, your this, like, think of it like a black box now for now. So inside this your JVM, you have your what, javac. So inside your JVM you have your what, java. Please don't forget, this is javac, java compiler dot javac, that is java compiler. And then this is your java interpreter. So this is your java interpreter. So after it's interpreted, obviously, now it can run on any of your what, OS, and you stop the process, right? So this your operating system can be, give me examples, it can be your Windows 10, Windows 11, your versus your Mac, versus your Linux, anything, fine, etc. Fine. So this is what you can actually expect, all right? So we can actually call it a diagram. Okay, like your pattern is called diagram. Just kidding. Diagram of your what? Of your JVM. I hope this makes sense. Fine. Now, if this holds true, what you need to do is, most times they might ask you in an interview questions, can you explain just-in-time compiler? Okay, so this is a question for you. Explain just-in-time compiler. Explain JIT for short. Okay, JIT stands for just-in-time compiler. All right. So this just-in-time compiler, we can say it belongs to the JVM. Okay, it's a subset of Java Virtual Machine. Fine, which does what? Such that it converts what? Converts what? Selected portions, right? Selected portions of your bytecode, right? Of your bytecode. Okay, bytecode, you know what I mean now, the .class file, right? Into native machine code. Okay, and speeds up execution, and speeds up execution. Got it? Fine. Now, you can also say that, fine, now that this bytecode now, okay, which is your .class file, can also mean, I mean, after it gets interpreted, okay, can run on various what, operating systems, hence enforcing what, platform independence, hence doing what, enforcing platform independence. Fine. All right, so if you think of it, if somebody asks you actually to explain bytecode, now you might not need all this theory, but yes, since we are getting up to speed programming, let's understand some stuff. So if I ask you to explain bytecode, so what happens if it happens to be an exam? What you do? Explain Java bytecode. You will always use what? Block diagrams, right? Bytecode. So you know already bytecode, fine. So obviously you know what it is. Hence, you might actually think of this. I'm going to draw this diagram and I want you to give it your own interpretation. Okay. Remember, this is an advanced Java class, but just like a refresher course. Okay. So you have a file called example.java. Okay. Now this file gets compiled. Okay. So gets compiled inside this abstracted box. Okay. And produces your bytecode, which is what? eg.class. So eg.class. After this eg.class is produced, then this .class gets executed on your Windows OS, on your Linux OS, and on your what? Macintosh OS, anything, okay? Mac OS, okay? Even if you have the concept of your mobile, it can run on your Android also, right? OS, okay? Fine. Like, because obviously we remember that Java also supports what? Mobile application development. It was actually called Java 2 Mobile Application Development, okay? Right, J2ME, okay? But now it uses your Android, and then Google also is optimizing it using Kotlin. Fine. Okay. So this is what I can actually use to give a kind of a brief explanation of that. But that is exactly, I mean, what happens when bytecode is generated and how it gets converted and executed on various platforms. So platform here refers to your what? Operating system. Don't forget that. Whenever I say nodes, platform refers to your operating system. Nodes MB, platform translates to OS. Done? Fine. So enough of talking, let's run our first program. Okay, so I want to give you that, flair. That I want to give you the assurance that you can actually run your first program. So I'm going to give you a blank screen now. So let's say our first programming, Java. So yes, so first thing, our first programming, our first Java program. I think the blue color is not visible, guys. Is it visible? I rather stick to the black ones, okay? Black color. So our first Java program, the default, so let's give the structure, okay? So I don't want to waste time on the structure. I will write it and explain, okay? I think I explained the structure previously. But yes, let's say you have your class name, or public class by default. So public class, so we call it hello. Fine. Now, just please pay attention here. I'm going to use some stuff, open bracket. Then I will say here, your PSOV, whatever, public. Okay, public static void main. Then in brackets, you have string. Remember, string is capital, is a method, string, and then you have args. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to explain what all these things mean. Fine. Then let's say I'll use this something here just to differentiate the colors. Fine. To differentiate the braces. Then I have my system.out.println. In subsequent classes, I'll be using SOP for short. System.out.println. Pay attention. System is a class, so it is capital S. System.out.print will print it, and the cursor will remain on the line, on the same line. But if you want it to go to a new line, you say println. Fine. I say welcome to Java class, something like that, to Java island. Why must it be Java class? This is an island in Indonesia. Fine. All right. So one of the things you should pay attention to while starting to program is whenever you open a brace, you should close it. Okay. So I open this and I close this. And to avoid this confusion, what we normally do is we try to, position them, on the same line. Example, I'm going to show that practically, okay? I'm going to show that practically. So, but I use these color codes to differentiate that, yes, there are two open braces and there are two closed braces. Fine. And one of the things you need to understand is comments, because by default, you might be forced to use it. See, example, I don't want this to be executed, right? I have to comment it out. So what we do in Python, right? So don't get confused. In Python, we use hash as single line comment. So let's treat this quickly, comments in Python versus Java. All right, because if you program across platforms, you might run into this confusion. Comments in Java versus Python. And by the way, if you are starting to program, I will encourage you to watch my tutorial series or my video series on Python and Java, because these are the two languages which I want to speak. I call it Jython. Not actually, I didn't call it Jython, it's already existing. Jython, meaning Java with Python. Okay, so try to compare both, and the one you feel like you are interested in, you can go with that. But in case if you want me to suggest, I will say go with Python. Okay, now, so comments in Java and Python. Quickly, let's see this. Now, in Python, what we have seen, for single line comments, we use hash, right? This is our single line comment. Now, if you want for multiple line comment, what do? We use either this, right? Okay, or we use this. Fine. So this is your, translates to multi-line comment. So if you try this in Python, in Java, we are going to try it. You're going to get an error. Okay, because Java supports different, uses different symbols, okay, to add for commenting. So in that you have double slash, which is your single, okay, and then you have slash with star. Then wherever you type some stuff, and then you go and say star and slash, which is your multi-line comments. Okay, so this is very important because we might actually want to highlight something while actually programming. So we're going to use it to write our first program. Okay, so there are certain things you need to understand here. Okay, so class is a keyword. So this class is a keyword. I'm not going to write everything. It's a keyword. Public is an access specifier. Public, this is a keyword, okay, which is used to declare classes in Java. Fine, keyword. So this is an access specifier. What does it mean actually? It's telling me specifier. It's telling me that, okay, if I say it's public, that means it's accessible, right? Even from any place, or whether from the same class or from even a different package also. Fine. Now, so if I say static, right? So static, again, is a keyword. So static is a keyword. What does this do actually? Okay, used to make a method or whatever function static. What does it mean actually? So if I make it static, I cannot actually modify this. Let's say what do I say? Okay, don't confuse it with final keyword, please. Okay, so usually for me to access static functions or static methods, I need to create an object of that. So I tried confusing you with static and final. Okay, so usually you can actually access the static method, but you have to create an object of that. Okay, and what you have to remember is that the execution starts from the main, like your C in main, right? So execution starts from your main. Again, this is a method where execution starts. Okay, so without creating an object of this class, so you can have to run it from main because the control directly goes and looks for main, this main method. Okay, this is where execution starts by default. Okay, where program execution starts. Okay, fine. So these are the basic things you should understand by now, and I think this is clear. All right, just take a look to take a while to see that, observe that. So what about these string gags actually? Because you see the string gags. So my question is, can I write these string gags as string args? This what do you call it, square brackets? Can I write it like this? You should try that out. The answer is yes. Okay, can I change it as strings? Instead of args, I'll say vic. This is what I want most of you to try. Okay, because this args is just an argument name, so you can say strings vic. Try that and see what you get. Okay, fine. And as you know, your system.out operating is like your printf statement in what? C and C++. C, okay. We can also use it in C++, no problem. So when I say string.args, this represents an array, okay, whose type is of type what? String. This is an array. You can see it, right? We treated strings at least yesterday in Python. Actually, I was telling you I normally confuse it with arrays because I heavily program in Java. Okay, so this is an array whose what? Type is of what? String type, and whose a variable name is called args. You got the point? So that's it. Fine. So how do you compile this program then? So to compile your program, compile. So compile your Java program. I don't want you to start using IDEs, okay? I don't want you to start using that. By the way, if you don't know IDE, think of your NetBeans, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. Think of your NetBeans. If there is NetBeans, then that means there will be NetRise, right? Okay, NetBeans. Then you can think of your Eclipse, okay? You can think of your IntelliJ, anything, IntelliJ, whatever. Then you can even think of your BlueJ, and all whatnot. Okay, I don't want you to start using this one. I want you to run it from the console itself. Fine. And in case if you don't know how to get that up and running, please feel free to refer to the first tutorial lecture on this. Okay, so we covered that in detail. Now to compile your Java program, what do? I will say for the first step is ensure you are in the same directory. Step 1, get to the directory of your get to your program directory. Okay, and I'm going to show you that hands-on quickly. So after that, now what do? You step 2, you now type this command. Step 2, you type the command, you say java c. Sir, is it capital letter? No, just say small letter only. Okay, java c. Java c stands for Java compile. Java compile file name dot extension name dot java, obviously. So example java c. What is the name of the file name? Hello.java. Fine. Okay, so there will be something which I have to demonstrate. Okay, and by way of explanation, you are supposed to ensure that you save your file name as the same as your class name. Say the class is what? Java, right? Sorry, the class is hello. Please look at the class here. The class is hello. So I should save this as file name would be what? Hello.java. Now, what happens if I did not save it as hello.java? Let's say I save it as lab1.java. Can I still compile this? Yes. You have to compile with file name.java. After that, you have to run with class name only, Java class name. Step 3 and the final step. Finally run with what? Java, not Java what? Class name. So example here, Java, no dot extension again. Okay, say Java hello. That's it. Okay, fine. And on this note, I think we are good to go. Let's just run our first program now and then see, okay? And then we try to handle exceptions or handle errors. There will be basic errors that you're going to you can get, okay, when you run this. So it's better I demo this, okay? So enough of talking, let's get there. Fine. So this is what we have, all right? As you can see my screen. Guys, I hope I'm audible. Please, can you just confirm? Okay, I need somebody to say something. Okay, I think I'm audible. All right, so let's continue. So we have, I will treat identifiers, don't worry. Okay, I said let's run our first program. Fine. So you see here, just watch here. So this is my single line comment, which I tried explaining. So if I remove this, now you see all these things has changed. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. By the way, I'm using my Notepad++. Feel free to use that for now to ensure that your work is easy. Okay, I actually told you use Notepad, but it's still fine. Let me show you an example in case if you don't understand what I mean. So I'm going to copy this now. I'll just type Notepad only, all right? So once I type Notepad, as you can see, it's already enabled here on my screen. I'm going to show you one screen at a time. Once I paste this now, look here, okay? So it's going to be funny. You might not see anything. There is no hinting here. There is nothing at all, okay? So this is fine. You can say class hello, no problem. But to ensure that what I'm actually saying makes sense, okay, we've done this in the lab before. So I'm going to go back here. So what we'll have is this, okay, and you've seen your single line comment and you see your multiple line comment. Watch here. If I remove this, you see again, right? It all gets what? What do you call it? You see this notification. Sorry, this color code, right? The color changes. Telling you something is wrong here. Fine. So this is my multi-line comment, no problem. Then it turns green. Fine. So the name is class is hello, public static void main string, whatever, and things hello, welcome to Victor's portal. All right. So I'm going to save this now. So I have saved it as day1.java, whereas the class name is hello. So why don't I save it again? File, save as. Okay, so I have created a folder on the desktop called 22 days of Java. We are in day 1 actually. Okay, so let me call it day.java. So since it's already Java, I call it day. Okay, I don't want to say day 1. So day.java, okay, because I have set the language to be Java sources. So that's why I'm not going to say again .java. All right. By the way, if you are using Notepad++, you can go here, okay, and then change the language to be Java. Can you see here? It's already selected, right? You can see this ellipsis, right? This dot is just there. So it is Java. Fine. So whenever I save, I'm just going to get it like that. Fine. So this is done. I'll say class hello. Please listen. Please pay very close attention here. Now I have typed everything. What is the class name? What is the class name? Hello. What is the file name? Day.java. So let's go and find this now. All right. So call up your interpreter. Just go to your command prompt and just type CMD. Fine. Okay. You can search for it actually. Okay. By the way, it should be here on the CMD. You can see it, my command prompt. Now I'm going to maximize this. Now I said the first step is to get into the directory, right? Yes. So the directory, you get into the directory. So where is the directory? It's on the desktop. Please, let's look for a way to make our life easy. So I get to 22 days of Java, right? Now I go to day 1 of 100, whatever. I need this, right? What I'm looking for is called day.java. So click on this, just copy this part. Copy. All right. Now, once you get into this now, okay, once you get into this now, what you do, just right click, it will come. But there is something you have to do, okay? So you have to type CD in front of it, CD. So it stands for change directory, okay? Fine. I'll press enter. Now I'm there. So I want to know what things that are actually in there, okay? So you just type dir to explore. Yes, what I'm looking for is there is called day.java. I just highlighted it. Fine. Day.java created this time. Fine. So what I will do now is I'm just going to type the same syntax, Java C. What is the file name, guys? Day dot what? Java. Now enter. Now, if all things being equal, I should see my bytecode. So window D, get inside there. Okay. I'm going to zoom this in so that you will see. Okay. So day1.java, inside day1.java, I need day and I need day.class. So this is day, okay? And where is my day.class? Can you find it? So this is my Java file, all right? Okay, where is my class file? It's hidden. All right, wait, guys. Okay, day 1 of 22. Okay, that is fine. So after I compiled it, obviously I should see my .class file. So I don't know why it's hidden there. 1 minute. Where is my day.class? I can find it here. Go to view, show hidden files. It shouldn't be a hidden file actually. I don't know where it went actually. All right, so I'm going to compile this once again. I don't know why it's not generated, but it is actually. So to find out whether it's generated or not, I'm going to call it up from the prompt itself. Why am I wasting time? Dir. So you see you have day.java, and where is my day.class? Where is it? Okay, day1.java is there. Okay, I can't find it actually. Okay, I'll compile this quickly and then I run it again. Fine. Java cd.java done. Fine. And then I run this. I'll say Java. What's the name? Now, the class name. That's why I was actually looking for that. Why can't I find day1.day.class? Why can't I find it? Anyway, this happens, you see. All right, so I now need to run it with the class name. Just watch now. If I say day java day, okay, now watch here. Now I get here class not found, okay, day. But I knew that the class was called what? Hello, right? In case you've forgotten, see the class was called hello. It's still highlighted there. So I need to run this with hello. So I will say java. Oh, sorry, I'm typing capital letter. Java hello, hello. Okay, fine. And you can see here, welcome world, hello world, welcome to Victor's portal. Did you get that? Yes. So I don't know, I restarted my computer. I don't know why that class file did not appear. Okay, because yes, you can see this person.class is the hello. Oh, sorry, please. Sorry, guys, it's here. It's called hello.class. Do you remember, guys? So it's not going to appear with the file name. Thank you. Okay, I somehow remembered. Sorry for the confusion. Remember, when you name it differently, you run into the same problem which I ran into. You see, it's going to create the .class file of the class name, not of the file name. You got the point. So this is what I want you guys to avoid. Okay. Now, in subsequent class, I'm not going to make the same mistake. So we continue. All right. So there are a couple of things which you might run into. So let's copy this now and let's go into create a new file and just paste this. Now you got the concept. I have demoed this one, no problem. Go here quickly, language, and change it to Java. All right. So once this is done, now look here. At times you might forget to change string. See as capital, make it small s. Oh, sorry, string is studying is static, and I'm going to save this as let me call it now word. Okay, so word, I'm going to save it as word.java. Fine, save quickly. So I call it wrld word.java. It's already Java file. Now, no problem. All right. So I'm going to compile this guy now. Okay. So I'll come here. I will just say clear my screen quickly. I'll just clear my screen quickly so that you will not get confused. Now, this is what you have. So I'm going to type Java C. Okay. It's called what? Word.java. Java. You got it. So word.java. Now watch here. It says cannot find symbol, right? String. Okay. So this and is pointing you there that it's a class word. Fine. So you know definitely, you know for sure class is a string, right? Fine. It's a class called string. So you have to change it to capital letter. So once you correct this, that error is gone. Okay. Fine. So you make sure you save, okay? Because we always make this mistake also. Now you compile. Now you see it will create what? Now, since the saved class name is same as the file name, we should be able to see word.class. So let's check if it is there. Now we get back here and you see we have word, you see word, and then you see another word also, right? So if you check the properties, okay, I'll just right click and show you quickly. So you see here, this is what .class. I hope you can see what I'm showing you is a class file. Okay, this is a class file, and then right click here and check the properties. This is a Java file, so you can see that you have successfully created the byte code. Hence you can now run this, no problem. So you now say Java word. Fine, done. Okay, and you get the same thing. So this is done. Okay, one of the things you should pay attention to again is semicolon. Okay, and then also remember to avoid using, again, system is a class, so don't use small s. Okay, pay attention to this since you are getting started. So this is fine. And then one of the things we want to talk about is your keyword. So what are keywords actually? In Java, in Python, keywords are things that makes meaning to the compiler. Hence, you are not permitted to use them as your file name. So I deem it fit to just list few of them and we will continue quickly. So here you see we are going to look into Java keywords. Okay. So here I call them Java keywords. So you know them already, okay? So try to avoid these keywords. Try to avoid using them as file name. Example of keywords, there are many of them. So I'll give most of the commonest examples, which is also similar to keywords in Python. Boolean, not Lydian. Lydian, if you are watching, yeah, good. Say hello. So this is, you have case as in switch case, you have class obviously, and you have constant. When you declare something as constant, you have continue. I don't know why Java still supports this go to, this unconditional jump, which is not there in Python. You have your if statements, you have your null, you have your new, etc. You have package. So your assignment will be list most of the common keywords in Java. It's a homework for you. Homework, list most of the common keywords. List most common keywords in Java. Okay, so let's continue. Common keywords in Java. Okay, fine. All right. So since we have spoken about keywords, now we're now going to talk about identifiers. So as the name implies, identifier is used to identify something. That's it. You know English better than I do, right? So what are identifiers actually, right? So identifiers, they call it keyscore keywords. Sorry. Okay. I don't want to confuse you now. Just identifier is a name. Is a what? Name that is given to a method, right? To a method, function, comma, method. You can also take a, so you call it as a function, variable, comma, or any other words, or any other user-defined item. Any other thing that user defines, arrays, etc. User-defined. Add whatever items, okay? Now, what does it do? That identifies. Very important. As the name suggests, that identifies. Don't tell anybody. Okay. That identity, that serves as its identity. Okay, that gives its identity in a program. That's what it is. So as rule of thumb, okay, there will always be rules, right? So these rules, you can actually bypass them. Like in the college, we say don't bring mobile phones, but owing to Corona, everybody brings mobile phone. What can we do? So these can have one or several characters. I'm not going to write them, but one thing, a keyword cannot be an identifier. This is what I want to highlight. A keyword can't be an identifier. If you get this, then you should understand. I mean, I'll be so happy. More especially, most importantly, in Nigeria we say important, okay? Most importantly, identifiers are what? Case sensitive. They are case sensitive. Get that? Hence, if you have things like this, and then that is a good habit also when you, you should form this habit, okay, when you are naming variables, okay? So we can look at some valid identifiers here. So if you say these are valid, that means there will be the ones that are invalid, right? So for the valid ones, you might say it can start with a $sign, no problem, right? Yes, it can also start with an underscore, say $value. Nigerians will understand, okay, when I use dollar. It can also start with underscore value, okay? Now, it cannot start with a digit. However, it can start with something like an underscore with a digit, say 12 and underscore. You got my point? Fine. So it should not start with a keyword. Like since max is a keyword, you can say max L like that. Fine. So now invalid one should be 1, 2, 3, home, whatever, name. Okay. Then you cannot start with dash name. Please, dash and underscore, they are two different things. So what I meant, this is a dash. And whereas this is an underscore. You know Undertaker, exactly. That's not what I meant, okay, but you got the concept. So we've looked into this, okay, and then one of the things I wanted us to do is whenever you start working with Java, you should remember I asked the students this question: which library is imported by default in Java? So you don't need to import it, it's imported by default. Because of that, I want to do a kind of a brush up on Java class libraries. So think of libraries as APIs, right? Collection of methods and functions or whatever, which has been written by other developers and pushed out there for you to use, thereby improving bringing you up to speed by programming. So if you think of these Java class libraries now, okay, so we say these are sets of what? There is no, well-defined definition, but yes, these are loadable libraries that Java applications provide, okay, that you can call at any time, right? And since it is not dependent on any specific operating system, remember that's what Java tries to solve. Hence, we can now say that it is platform independent. So, looking at this now, can we try to summarize this in a nutshell? So, if I have Java lib for short library, okay, inside this Java library, there is one which we import by default, and I'm going to use a different color for that. It's called java.lang package. Okay, so if I say java.lang package, that means it belongs under packages. So what are the things that are in under Java library? You have your packages, you have your classes, and you have your methods. So you have your packages, then beneath the packages, you have your classes, then under that, you have your methods, something like that. Okay, fine. So it's like a hierarchy. So if I say java.lang, Java, that means it is going like this java.lang, right, package. So under this now, what other packages exist? Maybe I have my class, or what other classes exist, please, not packages, okay? I have my math class, remember it is capital M. Then I might have my system. That's why you don't import java.lang before you use system.out or println, okay? I hope you get that, etc. Okay, fine. Now in your util, this is also another package. So another package is called what? Util package, which stands for utility package. So in util, yes, we have to import this when we want to deal with what? Accepting inputs from the user. So you have your scanner class, very important. I'm not just going to stop on this. Or you have your stack class also, stack. Now we have used scanner class most of the time, all right? Then outside this, you have your .NET. Mostly when you're actually doing what you call like socket programming or something like that, you have to import this package called java.net. Fine. Then if you are listening, we are going to import server.net. Okay, so this is java.net. So on this now, there are other words, classes that exist. Example, your URL is a class. Okay, uniform resource locator, which is just like your web address, and then you have your socket programming, okay, that exists here. Now you might think, sir, why are you telling all these things now? You will understand as we get into the advanced Java class, okay? So many times if you see all these things, you should not get confused. One of the things that interests me is what we call abstract windowing toolkit. It is a package, okay, which we call java.awt. Inside this abstract windowing toolkit, they say you want to design swing applications. So you'll be using what we call JPanels, Java panels, okay? And then you'll be using Java buttons and all whatnot, okay? So you have to import this package called Abstract Windowing Toolkit, okay? So on this note, I think, yes, we are good to go. So far, I hope I am not fast, guys. If I am fast, please help me just help slow me down, okay? Slow me down. Okay, I just want to sing, you see. So here you see, this is purely for your graphic-based applications, GUI app development, simplicity app dev, simplicity. It simplifies that, okay? Now, so usually this is what we call this now. Then I think this mostly for your language support, okay? Language support, okay, if you're working on something like that. And then this obviously, if you want to accept things from the user, right? So usually we use this side, okay? Accept user inputs and then stay organized. Accept user inputs, mostly for scanner, but there are so many classes that exist under this, okay? And stay organized, fine. So this is not an extensive note, please, guys, don't misunderstand me, because there's no way we can cover the entire thing in limited time, fine. So yes, having said this, now we need to look into what else, the Java data types, because remember, in Python determines the type at runtime. But Java, you must explicitly tell it what the type you are expecting. Otherwise, it will throw an error. It say, Macha, sorry. It will say, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. So because of that, I want to just address few Java types. So this is purely Java types. When I say Java types, I'm talking about Java data types, okay? So in these Java data types, we should remember that Java data types are classified into two, primitive and non-primitive. So primitive, if you are from Nigeria, you will know for sure we refer to early men as primitive men, right? I don't know why they are called primitive anyway. We said they are not modern. So if you have primitive, then you're going to have modern, right? But in Java, it's called non-primitive or reference data types, okay? Non-primitive. So primitive, or you call them what? Reference data types. Fine. I think it has other names also, like maybe object data type or something, or user defined. I don't know. Yeah. So in primitive data type means it is native to the compiler. I mean, it is very, very native, meaning this guy is native to the compiler, native to Nigeria, yes, to the compiler. That means what? It is, I mean, you cannot modify it, right? If it is an int, int must behave like an int. Unless you are extremely good programmer, you can modify it, int, and then int might behave like a float. I don't know if that is possible. Hence, you have your what? Integer. So your integer as a type, okay, as a primitive type, is further subdivided into bytes, not byte me, okay, I didn't tell you to byte me, into short, and we will look into this in the subsequent classes, into int and into long. I think double is not here. Double belongs to the class called float. Primitive type called float. So float means it's going to float, obviously, and that's why you have decimals, recurring numbers, telling you it is floating. Float has float only. It's a type, actually, and it has double. In Nigeria, some people say it's double. Okay, I beg a pardon. I'm just kidding, guys. Yeah, Nigerians are very fluent in English. Don't mind me. I'm just kidding. So here you have logical type, which you call your Boolean, right? Logical. Obviously, you know Boolean, which is Boolean. Yes. So Boolean is your what? True or false. Boolean, which is either true or false. Fine. So, and don't forget this guy, right? You have your character, actually. You have your strings, which is sets of characters. So, I think you have your character. All right. And in character, you have only this type called character. Okay. And then all these reference data types, you have your arrays and stuff like that. We are not going to look into it because our emphasis will be, as we look into most of the examples, we'll be using these guys. Okay. Fine. Now, I want to show some demo programs quickly before we wind up, all right? So there's something we call scope and lifestyle. It's not called lifestyle. They say sorry, only told lifestyle. It's called lifetime of variables, okay? So I'm going to call it scope and lifetime. Scope versus lifetime. That means there will be a time in which the variable will not exist, right? Don't worry. Scope means what? Of variables. Okay, how is this variable, in what context does this variable have a meaning? That's the concept of scope. So it has a lifetime inside, oh sorry, my pen dropped, inside a container. I tried demonstrating. So you see, so Java allows variables to be declared within a block. So by the way, when you see this block, it shows this is what we mean by block. Okay, this is block in Java. Okay, so this is the block. So when I declare this inside this, that means that the variable has a scope within this block. Okay, so that means inside this block is accessible. So a block begins, as you know, with this. This is the beginning of the block, begins, and this is where the block ends, ending. All right, and it ends here. If this happens, then can we give an example to illustrate the scope? Okay, so say I create, I'll just show you this example. Please pay close attention. Let's go to the demo right away. Okay, so how do I explain the scope? I just jump here and then I call it experiment demo. Fine. Okay, not this one. Yeah, fine. Please pay attention to this. Okay, I thought I would just show you this. So I have created a class. By default, it is public, called demo1. Now, public static void main string, that's no problem. So integer value here is of type int, and the value is 50. Now, if it's true, now this creates a new scope, right? Let the value become 60. System.out will print, fine. No problem, this will print. Please look here. It is inside this. When I click on the beginning of the block, it's highlighted in red. This is where the block ends. Fine. Now, to avoid confusion, what I want you to do, enter here like this, and then bring this guy inside this way, telling that this belongs to the scope. Okay? See, this is inside here. I can access this, right? Fine. Now, what happens if I want to access Y outside the scope? I'm going to get an error. It is not in the scope. What if I want to access X? X I will get because it's in the scope. Y, look at where it opened, look at where it closes. So X is in the scope. Now let's run this now and see what we get quickly. I'm going to press F5, it will prompt me, sorry, not here, sorry, Control S, fine. Since we are there, it's called demo1.java. So I'm going to clear my screen quickly. I will say Java C demo1, okay, .java, fine. Now, you see here, error, you see that the same place is not in scope, location, whatever. It says it cannot find symbol, window D, Now let's go and comment that guy out and run it quickly. So I'm going to comment this guy out now, okay? And I expect to see the value of x as 15. Sorry. Then I'm used to Python comments, okay? So this is my Java comment, Control S. Then get back here, and then I will just do this now quickly. Java C demo1.java. See here, no problem. Now I will say Java demo1. Fine, done. Now you see that I'm not able to access it, right? Cool, okay, done. So this is the concept of scope, and I believe this makes sense. So what is it that I want to touch briefly before we wind up, okay? Is this type of variables, okay? So variables, you should understand that Java has various types of variables. So I call it what? Variable types in Java. Very important. Since it's so important, I'm going to use red to highlight it. I call it variable types in Java. So you may, I don't know if you have encountered this. We say what we call, whether you have encountered local variables. So in India is a common thing. I'm a localite, meaning if I'm from Mysore, I know so many people in Mysore, so I claim I'm a localite, right? Fine. So instance variables, I'm going to explain briefly instance variables. And then you have your reference variables, and then you have your class variables. So you call it Wandu Yerudu Muru Nako Nalako. So by the way, for my Nigerian fans, I'm counting in a local language called Canada. I must learn this language by force. Okay. So local variables are simply, they are declared inside a method. Okay. Fine. Or a function, aka function. No problem. Now, instance variables are declared inside the instance. They are inside the class. Yes? Fine. I mean the class methods. No problem. Now, the class variables now. Okay. Reference variables, they are kind of, they hold the value, right? You cannot access reference variables directly, right? So they are locations actually. Okay. They hold the reference. So they hold the reference location. Hold reference. I'm going to show an example quickly, a reference location. And then you have your class variables. So most of your class variables are what? You saw that they are static variables. So when you say declare a variable as static, they are what? Class variables. Got it? Fine. Now, I don't want to demo this. Literally we'll be demoing this in subsequent classes, but I want you to understand this now that it is fresh. Okay? Quickly, I believe you should be able to understand this program. Let's create this is lengthy enough. So let's create a program application. Please, this is why I like writing. So the more you write, the more you remember. Okay, please follow me. Okay, as you play back the video, please spend some time to understand this. Let's say we call it class demo. Okay, now inside this class now, so this is the scope. Fine, this is the big one. So I have string. I want it to hold the name of a person, semicolon. Now, maybe I now use a static keyword now, static int. I want to count some stuff. So when I'm counting, I will tell you what all these things are. Now I have a method which I call maybe like double fun. Okay, double fun. Okay. Now inside here I have another scope. Okay, in which I have some data. Say I call it int dt, okay, semicolon. Okay, now maybe I have some code, SOP system.add or println something. Okay, something I'm going to print. So after this is done, I'll close this guy. Fine. Now I need to go to my main method, right? So I want to keep them side by side. No, in one side line I can finish it off. So I go to my main method. Now the main method will be public static. I'm going to use PSOV, public static void main, public static void main. Okay, PSVM, public static void main. Inside there I have string, and then I have my args. Okay, now what I will do, okay, string args, fine. What I will do is I'm going to create an instance now, right? A reference to this what class. What's the class called? Demo, right? So I will say demo. Please remember, once I do this, I have to open this, right? I will say demo. Okay, I think I have this program. I will just show you here quickly. Sorry, I like writing. I enjoy writing. So now look here. So in this case, please look here. Okay, local versus global variables. So let's identify what the variables are here. That's what I wanted to say. So string name is called what? Can you tell me what it is? It is a class. It's an instance variable. Don't say class variable. So it's an instance. variable. I'll use var for short. Okay, so count is what type? Quickly. Count is what? The keyword is static, right? So it is a class variable. Fine. Now, please look for the variables, right? They will have something. Data is what? Remember, this is a method. Please, fun is a method. So data is what now? Local. It has meaning only within this scope, right? Yes. So it's a local var. Okay. Then the next one is what? I have created a reference, right? To this person, right? So this is not, it's holding the reference to the class person. So this is my reference variable var. Fine. Now, after that, now I need to actually instantiate this person, right? So I create an object of this. So whenever you see something like P, this is it, the reference is equal to new person. What is person now? The class name. So I have created a reference. So you can call this now what? Object reference. So we call it dynamic object reference. Okay? Dynamic OBJ for short, reference. Say, got it? So this is it. Fine. And then you call this. So yeah, this is what it is. And then the last program for the day, and we wind up with that, is about short circuit operator. So I think I will show it here and I will explain quickly. So if you see here, it's called short circuit demo. Fine. And what exactly I want to use? I want to use an or operator. Can you see and operator? Yes. Can you see or operator? Where is or? Are you with me? So see, I have used and here. This I use not operator. Fine. I want you in between to change this to or operator. Where is your or operator now? So this is your what? Bitwise what? Operator. Now I want you to try to look at this code. Int n is 10 and d is 2. Okay. So this stands for like your numerator is 10 and your denominator is 2. Now, if I divide n by d, will I get a remainder of 0? So let's look at this. Fine. So if the remainder is 0, then I will know that fine, I perform modulus operator. Read from here. And means both conditions must be true. And if d is not equal to 0. So what is d? D is not equal to 0, right? D is what? 2, obviously. So this code will be executed, right? Fine. Now I reassign d to be 0. I will say if d is not equal to 0, it is false, right? Because d is equal to 0. And when I divide n by d, am I going to get 0? Obviously, this will give me what? Division by 0 exception, right? Because d is 0. If I divide anything by 0, okay, I will get what? Mathematical error. We have seen that, right? Even in Python. So if you divide 100 by 0, you're going to get error. Okay? But if you divide 0 by 100, it gives you 0. So, and then finally, if d is not equal to 0, which is also false, and if this divided by this is not equal to 0, okay, so obviously these two programs should give an error and only this one should execute. Fine. So you see, the essence of this is we might be a short circuit operator actually is one that doesn't necessarily evaluate all of its operands. That's why it's called a short circuit, right? Think of electronics where there is a flow of current and suddenly it gets opened up. So short circuit may be like if something not opening. Opening is not short circuit, please. Say maybe like it gets bridged in between. So it's short circuited. Fine. Then you get a spark. So in the same thing, I have sparked this up. I've sparked these programs up. Fine. So it's now being short circuited. Okay. Fine. Let's run this and then see which one gets executed. And I think we are done for today. Fine. Quickly. Follow me. It's called short circuit demo. Control S. And then I come here. I will just say CLS just to give you a blank screen. I'll say Java C. Okay. It's called array S. I think SHOT short CIR demo. Okay. Demo.java. Done. Fine. So I will now say Java SHOT short CIR demo. Fine. Okay. So you see here the first operator was the first operation was performed and the rest threw an error, including division by 0 exception, right? And nothing happened there. It came out of that. Fine. So we will stop here, okay, because the last one, I cannot do it because of time, okay? So let's go back and kind of summarize what we did today. So if we get back to this, we will see here, I think, here. So we started by looking at identifiers in Java, Java class libraries, Java primitive types, literals, scope, and lifetime of Java variables, types of variables, right? Now, operators with examples, I did not actually give you examples of operators, so this we did not do. Not done. I hope you are with me. Not done. Okay. So we did short circuit operator. Okay. So, and I believe you should know the concept of operators with the example. So assignment operator versus shorthand operator, not done. Okay. And then casting is also not done. Okay. Not done. So this we will continue from here tomorrow. Okay. Okay. This also not done. Okay. So on this note, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget our Python class starts in an hour. And because I somehow started streaming before the time, I need to reschedule the class right away, and I'm sending the link also. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in our Python class. Bye for now.